Hello. Hi guys. Let me know if the audio is coming fine. Uh, hello. Yeah, audio seems to be fine, right? Okay. Long time no see. Yeah, hi Abhay. So, first of all, my deepest apologies for not coming live for so many days uh, because of Bhagwan Shiva's anugraha. I'm basically drowning in work at the moment, and nice compositions are coming to mind as well. I'm doing some arrangement and mixing for some bands, and also a background score work for a Hindi comedy web series has come. It's not released yet. I don't know when it will release or on which platform, but the shooting is still going on. 2 episodes have come in, so these are the stuff I'm drowned with. And other than that, um, it's very annoying that you all are listening to the Brahma Purana narrations with me, and even the Bangali Itihash, and suddenly I disappear for 1 week. It's very annoying to me as well. I was in the full flow of Brahma Puran. And also I want to mention one other thing, that is Vivek Ramaswamy is about to become pretty big in the US presidential primary elections, okay, which will happen in next year's January. And now is the time to stand up for him as Hindus, okay, because yeah, this was going to happen anyway, which is his affection, or his remotely positive words for India, or being a proud Hindu, remotely positive words for Narendra Modi. All these were going to be held against him, right? So those are about to start any moment. The liberals and leftists are already writing some articles about him. Some patharbaz journalists are also writing articles about him on America's newspapers, and claiming that his Hinduness or his affection for Modi is somehow somehow should be noted by evangelicals. It's a dog whistle to evangelicals in America that, hey, check out your guy, check out the guy you all are supporting, and see how anti-Christian he is, with absolutely zero basis. They claim that Christians are somehow unhappy in India, okay, with the argument that one Christian missionary family that got burned to death about 50 years ago. That's their lone argument to argue that, lone basis to argue that in Christians are in a bad spot in India, okay. And but now the black conservative vote is hugely in favor of Vivek Ramaswamy. Every day I wake up and see 5 more channels have come up just to appreciate Vivek Ramaswamy. And not the Republicans, not his competitors in the Republican Party, not the Democrats are going to take this lightly at all. Black conservatives are a sudden new significant voter base that Republicans have recently gotten after many decades. And black people becoming conservatives is a huge problem for Democrats anyway, because it's their largest minority voter base, okay. Now suddenly a random new guy comes up, who's not a politician, and who's criticizing almost everyone in the political scene, wants to close down the FBI. One says he'll either cut down 75% of people, slash their jobs from the government agencies, or shut down some agencies. Such a person taking away the large chunk of black conservatives vote is not going to be taken lightly by anyone. But even other than that, now is the time when you all have to take part in this and defend Vivek Ramaswamy in every comment section, on every YouTube video about Vivek Ramaswamy, because he is finally we have one international wrecking ball that is standing up to people who hate Hinduism and to wokeism and communism in general, okay. Who are some other people who are the wrecking balls on the international scene? Jordan Peterson, obviously. He has the international audience who listens to him. We have Andrew Tate. He's a Muslim. He's also kind of standing up to the establishment pretty hard, but he is Muslim, so who knows what other plans he has. But the only remotely wrecking ball that we have is J. Sai Deepak, who has about a minority attention only on YouTube and only in India, right? His books still today sell only about 30,000, 40,000 copies. It's not like he's selling lakhs of copies, so he's not mainstream by any means, right? So now we have one guy on the international stage representing the most powerful country in the world, whose GDP is $23 trillion. Their presidential nominee, candidate running for president, is saying he's a proud Hindu and seems to be gaining and in popularity each and every day. So now the caste question is going to come up any day now, okay? And it's coming up in many YouTube comment sections already. I haven't seen Christian conservatives bring it up. It's so far it's the liberals and leftists bringing it up in comment sections where they want to criticize him for being a Republican. There they are repeatedly they are hinting at these ideas and insinuating that if he comes to power in USA, he's going to bring the caste system, the Hindu caste system, on India. I mean in USA, okay, which is a hilarious concept. And I have been going around replying to those comments saying that there is no caste system in India. Whenever there was a Varna Vyavastha, which is a division of labor that has existed in every society, every successful society in the world, and it's not like there were many job opportunities going around. And remember, even in the movie Troy, Brad Pitt says in one scene that a kid asks him that, why are you a warrior? Why don't you do something else? And Achilles, Brad Pitt's character, he says that I have no other choice. And that is a significant sentence, okay? It's not like randomly one fine morning a soldier's son would get up and become a senator in Roman Empire, okay? That's not going to happen. The problem with Varna Vyavastha being called casteism or caste system is that it gives a certain distinct Indian or Hindu hue to a situation which had its benefits and side effects everywhere in the world. Of course, we did untouchability. I don't know about enough of division of labor in other societies if all of them went to such extreme side effects or not, but most of them did not even survive as long as Sanatan Dharma. So their side effects phase did not come up in their lifetimes, okay? You either live a hero or you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. So any great thing that exists long enough will have side effects, and those side effects will keep on compounding if the main thing also keeps existing and existing and existing. So untouchability is the biggest side effect we have out of Varna Vyavastha. But other than that, what Varna Vyavastha in general was practiced everywhere. Even if it is birth based, it was there everywhere, okay? It's not like a soldier's son would go up and marry a senator again, okay? So a soldier's son would not or a soldier's daughter would not marry a lowly street vendor in Roman Empire. All those things were everywhere. Now, y'all will have to argue these things because he is our Hindu wrecking ball in front of the woke establishment. And you have to explain to these people why Hinduism does not mean casteism, Hinduism does not mean evil untouchability, and wherever there was Varna Vyavastha or the evil side effects of Varna Vyavastha, there were equal numbers of people in different regions of Bharat who were devout Hindus themselves, who were speaking out against the evils and the side effects of Varna Vyavastha. And you have to do that. Otherwise, this chance is not going to come back anytime soon. And if if a large chunk of Indians support him, just because of algorithms, his face is going to show up everywhere on YouTube anyway. But I hope you all do that. I hope you all take part in defending Vivek Ramaswamy because imagine if he was from some other community, okay? Imagine the happiness they would share. And people keep telling me that why are you so interested in his work? Why are you interested in USA? I don't know what that means. Why do you want only Palki Sharma to quote all random liberal newspapers and criticize USA based on all random false premises? Let's criticize them for what they are, and let's not criticize them for what they are not. And of course you have to be interested in USA because they are your ally and they are the biggest nation in the world. And everyone who keeps saying that we need India's counter to USA, we need to counter US thoughts, we need to counter just like USA has India studies, South Asia studies, etc. We need to have USA studies. Okay, but all of them also comment on India regularly, right? Why shouldn't I comment on them? Why should I be only talking about Mamata Banerjee? People tell me that first talk about your panchayat election, then everyone knows what's happening in Bengal. What's new to mention there? Everyone knows everyone's getting killed in Bengal under Mamata Banerjee's rule. What fascinating different thing will I say that will blow your mind? Oh my God, I did not know this. So that's not going to happen. So why shouldn't I expand my my knowledge geography, okay, or things I want to talk about. So anyway, he's your Hindu wrecking ball, and stand up for him. Nina is saying some Malayali channels already covered Vivek, and Malayalis seem to support him in comment section while supporting completely different policy in their state role. Nina, yeah, that's not going to go on very long. They are going to turn on him very soon. দাদা মেইতেইদের থেকে ওদের ভিকটিম স্ট্যাটাস সরানোর চেষ্টা চলছে তাই না? Yeah, because as Abhijit Mitra had said that before the 2024 Lok Sabha elections happen, a lot of things are going to keep coming up and keep coming up. Violence is going to erupt in many places, and all of those predictions of Abhijit Mitra has come true. And most things that happen in Northeast are not the doings of Northeast alone. There seem to be always some foreign funding issues. Okay, let's see some comments. Catholics practiced untouchability, referring to Jesus and his dialogue with pagan Syrian women. Okay, I did not know that. Wasn't aware of that. Was thinking if Democrats will use her to counter Vivek. Who? Tulsi? No. Tulsi is Republican. Tulsi has had enough of the Democratic Party. Shaptarshi is saying China. Yeah, probably. See, but these things are not conscious. The people on the street, protesting on the streets of Manipur or Nagaland, or doing all the secessionist violence activism for all these days, the person on the ground with the gun probably does not know that he is working for China. But it's like someone paid someone some money, then it has come through 3 or 4, 5, 6 hands. After that, he's being paid to do something, or he's being motivated to do something. जिसका मोटिवेशन देने वाला जो आदमी है उसका पेमेंट कहीं और से आ रहा है. सो इट्स ऑब्वियसली एवरीवन हैज प्लॉजिबल डिनायबिलिटी इन दैट एंटायर लाइन ऑफ मनी ट्रांजैक्शन. Because forever Maoists don't have money for food, that's why they are becoming Maoists, but they have money for AK-47. कश्मीर में हर मस्जिद में टर्की का कारपेट बिछ रहा है, मगर बोल रहा है कि इतना गरीब है, हम तो टेररिस्ट बन गए. দেখলাম কুকি অ্যাক্টিভিস্টরা কি জিডম গড ইত্যাদি বলছে. আচ্ছা, okay, I'll just take some other comments. Rashti had said something. Yeah, Rashti, what are your Indic Explorer when is your Indic Explorer podcast coming out? Yeah, I mentioned this in another live stream that after the live stream ended, he said that the host, what was his name? Vineet, right? So Vineet said that this became more political than I had expected it to be, because he also works in a mainstream woke organization. So he needs to toe the line, which I completely understand as someone who toes the line to a large extent. So he wanted to keep it mostly cultural, and what are the cultural ways to solve problems, and what are the cultural counters we have to voices that oppose Hinduism or Indian culture, okay? But I had to take it towards politics, because according to me the solutions, the analysis, my lens is politics in this case, to look at these things and to look for solutions. So I said, yeah, fair enough. And then he said maybe we'll have to reshoot it sometime later. Then we talked about for about another 10-15 minutes, and then I realized that okay, after that 10-15 minutes was over, then we finished the podcast. So when he said that we need to reshoot it, I thought he means that the next 10-15 minutes were the reshooting thing. But when he didn't re-upload it, I didn't pester him, because it would seem desperate from my side as well. So I thought, okay, he meant that he'll reshoot the entire podcast sometime later, which is completely fine with me. I have no problems with it, because it's his channel. He needs to match the vision that he has for it. He needs to do it according to his own vision. Okay. Why liberals are criticizing Chandrayaan, Dada? Because it's BJP in power. Dada, CBID ভাইপো আর পিসি জেলে ভরছে না কেন? Oh, because Washington Post will say that he's arresting opposition parties, etc. Vivek's solution of mass layoff of bureaucracy was my favorite. Modi should hire him as his campaign, if his campaign fails. Yeah. Saptarshi, now that explains a lot. Soham, true, saw in the list of parties called Cookie Alliance in NDA. Yeah. Apparently, India have a cookie party in their alliance. Anyone has any clarity on it? I see. Okay, now we'll start Brahma Puran, okay? Okay, by the way, there is one guy, one YouTuber called Vince Dow. He had a subscriber base for about 45,000, 50,000 followers for about 2 years. Then he went to Vox or Vice's one sort of panel discussion on model minorities and whether minorities are facing white supremacy or not. And there he gave some really fair arguments that no, America is the best place for minorities, etc. And after that, his channel blew up. Now he has 200,000 subscribers. But so far, he is the only right-winger who has remotely criticized Vivek Ramaswamy. Not even criticized. He has pointed out that, okay, I have no problems with Vivek Ramaswamy being Hindu. And I agree that he holds more values that are in alignment with Judeo-Christian values or with the American Constitution than the people claiming to be Christian, even in the Republican Party, than everyone, than Donald Trump, than Joe Biden, everyone, than all the recent presidents that have come up in the Republican Party. But his opinion is that if Vivek does become the president, what does that say about a Judeo-Christian country like India ending up having to elect a Hindu guy to uphold its Judeo-Christian values? Okay, that you can argue that that's a fair point to make. He was not criticizing him for being Hindu, but even for that, you all should check out his comment section. He got bashed left and right by every Republican supporter. He got called racist, Christian nationalist by Christian conservative Republican supporters. They are so much in love with Vivek Ramaswamy that they are criticizing their own guy, who's by the way Asian. Okay, his surname is Dao, which is the ancient 2,500-year-old Chinese pre-Abrahamic faith, Taoism. His surname is literally that, but he has converted to Christianity. I mean, 2-3 generations back, obviously. So when he points out remotely that, see, at least, I mean, Vivek is a Hindu and Hindu guy is about to become the president of a Judeo-Christian nation. Even just for saying this, he gets bashed so much in the comment section by Christian conservatives of America, okay? That should tell you where the country is. Ron DeSantis. What is your opinion on Ron? Ron DeSantis, yeah, obviously a great administrator, but he's campaigning very weakly, and I think the reason for that is that he campaigned entire 2021, not even entire 2021. He's a very busy governor. He's a very good governor, right? So 2022 में वो election जीतना पड़ा. He became a governor, winning the election in 2022. So he had to sacrifice family time and administration time and campaigned, and therefore became the most successful governor in the last 30 years with that victory last year. Now, if he wants to become the president in 2025 January or March, when does their opening happen, he'll have to start campaigning now again. So again, his administration suffers. Again, his family time suffers. So I don't think he's ready to make that sacrifice again, and he is half-assing it basically, and he realizes that it's not his time. He has much more time left. He's just in his early 40s. So the vibe is too much with Donald Trump. Most people don't want to. I mean, even the people who absolutely agree with Vivek on everything, they have some blind faith of Donald Trump that this guy will do it for us. So that's why Ron DeSantis is not gaining any followers at the moment. But I liked how Tucker Carlson, a lot of y'all who think that Tucker Carlson is also some kind of a raging right-wing white nationalist, he absolutely destroyed Mike Pence's, the Trump's VP guy, okay? Mike Pence's career, basically. His political career is over because of his interview with Tucker Carlson, where he points out that why are you so bothered about sending tanks to Ukraine when Americans are suffering here under Biden? Yeah, Vince Dow himself is a Christian, and he got destroyed by other Christians for remotely bringing up that Vivek is a Hindu. Okay then, let's start Brahma Puran, guys. Okay, someone will have to correct me on the pronunciation of this, okay? Because the only problem with the Penguin publications of the Puranas are that they don't put that ओवरहेड वो दाग होता है ना, जिससे कि पता चलता है कि ए का उच्चारण आ होगा, अगर वो दाग नहीं रहता है तो वो अ होगा, वो यहाँ पे नहीं रहता है. So I don't know how to pronounce it. The subchapter is called Subjugation of Kalia. So it's either Kalia or Kalia, I don't know. So I'll do a bit of recap. So the illustrious Krishna, unrestricted in his deeds, mentally thought about Vrindavana's welfare. He desired that the cattle should increase. O supreme Brahmanas, this was the summer season and the place was exceedingly dry. Nevertheless, there were fresh shoots of grass everywhere, as if it was the rainy season. All the residents of Vraja started to live in Vrindavana. They placed their carts and pens in a semicircle around them. Rama and Damodara started to herd the calves. They remained in that pasture land and indulged in their childish pastimes. The feathers of peacocks adorned their heads. They wore garlands of wild flowers. They created musical sounds with flutes made of bamboo and whistles made of leaves. The two boys had sidelocks like a crow's wings. The two young boys resembled fires. They laughed, played, and roamed around in the large forest. They laughed and played with each other, and sometimes also did this with the others. The sons of the Gopas were just like them. They herded the calves and wandered around. After some time had passed, they attained 7 years of age. In that great place of Vraja, the protectors of everything in the universe became the protectors of calves. The monsoon season arrived and there were extremely dense clouds in the sky. Torrents of rain poured down and all the directions seemed to have been reduced to one. The earth was covered with fresh and excellent flowers and shakragopas. It was as if it was adorned with emeralds and rubies. In every direction, the waters of the rivers flooded the banks and didn't follow the usual course. Like the mind of an indisciplined person who has just obtained some wealth. In the evening, as they wished, those two extremely strong ones would return to Vraja and, like immortals, play with the Gopa boys who were just like them. Now we start a subchapter called Subjugation of Kalia or Kalia. Kalia, okay, Kalia Mardanam. Dada doesn't read Devanagari, I think. Yeah, it takes some time to read Devanagari. Like here I read it that it's called Kalia Mardanam, I guess, right? So Kalia, the Nag, I see, okay, thank you. I've seen people making Ramaswamy vice president of Trump. Yeah, but Ramaswamy has said that he doesn't want to be anyone's VP or anyone's cabinet member, and I think that's a good thing because he is not going to be able to accomplish anything that he has set his eyes on as a VP, unless Trump fully acknowledges and has the strength to do them himself. Okay, or even if he does end up doing those things, it will be basically Trump's credit. Not that he doesn't want to do it just because Trump will take credit, but I don't think these things can work with as you being the vice president. The only time in US history, I think, when the vice president was more powerful than the president was with Dick Cheney and George Bush as the president, right? But Dick Cheney had a deal with George Bush prior to winning that you'll handle those things, I'll handle those things, and only then I'll become your VP candidate. Otherwise, I won't. So I don't think Ramaswamy is going to become the VP candidate, and even if he does, he won't be able to accomplish anything. So it's best that he sits this one out, and again tries it when Trump is out of office. Or if Trump doesn't win, fair enough, he'll try it again in 2028. For those of you who have some understanding of financial markets, stock markets, etc., I would recommend that you all definitely read his latest book called Capitalist Punishment. I'm halfway in the middle of it. You all have no idea the ruckus that's being created by some asset management companies, okay? And you all have to be very aware of these things because these things are kind of already coming to India. Indian companies are going to be pretty soon asked to do these same things, and a lot of American companies also operate in Bengaluru, right, or in entire India. So those things, those policies that are being recommended by BlackRock, State Street, and JP Morgan asset management companies, these things are going to be applied in India, in the Indian context, or even in the American context. So we are going to have adverse effects as well. So you all need to absolutely read Vivek Ramaswamy to know how to point out these problems and how to criticize these problems. And so he is your only Hindu wrecking ball in the woke establishment. So support him in every video, everywhere you go. If you see anyone remotely criticizing him in the comment sections, absolutely destroy him. They will either say that he is a bad person for saying good words about Narendra Modi, defend Narendra Modi there. If they say that Vivek Ramaswamy is a bad person for being a Brahmin or bringing in casteism in India, explain to them how that's absolutely a weird thing to say, okay? And makes absolutely no sense. And defend Varna Vyavastha or criticize it with the defense that how much India has progressed now, what our per capita GDP is, and in comparison to the per capita GDP that we have, in proportion to that, how great our country runs, because other countries, which is mainly Professor Salvatore Babones's research, that countries who have GDP like GDP per capita GDP like ours are absolute shitholes, okay, are absolute disastrous countries. We are nowhere near being a disaster. Even though we have such low per capita GDP, which tells you that even our country's poor people of India are much better and have much low propensity for violence than every other poor in the world, which means that Sanatan Dharma inherently is a very nice, accommodative, harmonious religion. We don't have to use this particular example to prove that, but point out that India is kind of a poor country even now, and even then we are not a completely a wrecked place like African countries, okay? And defend everything that they criticize Vivek Ramaswamy about. And also they will probably say that if someone says that if a Christian conservative says that Hinduism itself is bad and therefore Vivek should not win, then destroy them. Then you know what the arguments are. Then don't take any prisoners. Absolutely. Comment in such a way that they get embarrassed and feel fear before logging into YouTube once again. But other than that, we all will have to defend Vivek Ramaswamy repeatedly. And even in India, once he becomes the candidate, okay, Indian liberals are going to shit on this guy like no one's business, okay. They are going to say that he's a racist. He hates black people, he hates poor people because he's so much pro-capitalism, and he hates Shudras maybe because he's also Brahmin. You all will have to defend Vivek Ramaswamy in US and in India. Do it. I have always felt that India is a progressive society for an unindustrialized country, right? Okay, I saw somewhere Vivek Ramaswamy tied Ron DeSantis second in GOP presidential race. Yes, for a while. There's a betting site which does not open in India, where people are betting on who will become the president. There, right after that Tucker Carlson event, Vivek Ramaswamy for about 10-15 minutes touched the same popularity as Vivek Ramaswamy, but not significantly as of yet. All other polls are showing that he is a distant third for now. He's about 8-9%, but only rising. His graph is like this, and Ron DeSantis is about 18 to 20%, but his graph is always falling. So where is and Trump's is also kind of declining some days, and whenever his news of his indictment comes up, he again rises. But even if DeSantis's votes are going down, even if Trump's votes are going down, those going down votes, most of them are going to Vivek anyway. And all the other votes from Nikki Haley, Pence, those votes, उनके जो votes गायब हो रहे हैं, वो सब votes भी विवेक के पास ही जा रहा है. Now, Abhijit Chavra is very vague and exaggerate too much. I personally think he is not an academic because of that. He was being defended by conservative twins. Breakfast Club interview was the most disgusting podcast. Yes. Is Abhijit Chavra's history reliable? You will have to take multiple opinions on this, okay? Think of him like a doctor. Always take a second opinion when it comes to history. Because see, what is history? At best, history, not at best, I mean, in general, history is a fun and interesting anecdote to have. And if you are a young person, history should be a great motivational speech for you that see your ancestors were so great. Our history is absolutely weaponized, right? History should not be weaponized. And so people like Abhijit Chavra or even P.N. Oak, anyone who uses Hindu history or Sanatan Dharma history or India's history as a weapon are only doing that as a counter, but that should not be a goal. But you need to know these things. You need to know those arguments, and you need to know all the arguments, all of right-wing history's arguments and all of left-wing history's arguments as well, so that you know when to use which weapon. You have to have all weapons in your arsenal. If a leftist weaponizes history in front of you, you need to weaponize your history back to them, right? And if someone's an honest debater or having an honest conversation with you, let's say indulging or engaging in a dialectic with you or a conversation with you, not a debate per se, then you have to be honest with him that, okay, yeah, history is an anecdote, and I'm not using history as a weapon to beat down anyone and saying that we were all great people and everyone else was absolutely stupid and evil. But we need to move on from here and now plan a great future for us. If someone is ready to have that conversation, fair enough. History is just an anecdote. but we have to be armed against people who always have used history against Hindus as a weapon for about 100-150 years. Those are the people you need to be aware of, and for that, Abhijit Chavda is a great option to have. Saptarshi Pahari is saying some communists presenting them as Hindu and dividing Ved and Puran. Right. They say that Puran is when basically Hinduism happened, and Vedic or Vedas are the ancient pre-Indian or basically the Aryan Brahmanic traditional scripture. But uske baad Vedas met with Indian pre-Aryan civilizations, then the Puranas happened or the Mahabharatas happened as a fusion of those two. But I always say that even if that is the case, that is, I don't see that as a division. I see that as a great victory for Sanatan Dharma, that they were able to accommodate all these people as if they were not divided in the first place. That is the beauty of accommodation instead of conversion. You have your God, I have my God. Don't they seem like the same? Yeah, let's worship them together. So it becomes even more fun and interesting if communist history is really the history. But the problem is that they will claim that fact and say that I'm just presenting a fact, I'm just presenting an opinion, or uske baad, if you agree with that opinion, then they will use it as a weapon. So you have to know the counter facts and also analyze what are the conclusions of their fact or their so-called fact or opinion also. So that you can use both your fact as a weapon and also use their fact as a weapon against them as well. So you need to think both ways. Yeah, that has been refuted hilariously in the 10 Heads of Ravana, since it was originally Romila's theory, right? People are agreeing with Vivek, but very critical when it comes to his religion. I have not seen very critical. I have seen that just winsed out for now. But they will have to decide who do they want. Do they think, if they think Trump will be able to accomplish these things, fair enough, it's our gain because USA won't be as powerful. Obviously Trump is better for USA than Joe Biden, but I don't think he's going to be able to accomplish anything even this time, because he doesn't know policy inside out. He knows people, he knows how to make great deals, but I don't think it's going to be as skillful a work as Vivek might be able to do. But even then, Trump not remotely holds any Judeo-Christian values in his life. Vivek is much more of a guy on that. He does not have 3 wives. He has not been caught with prostitutes 50 times. He did not pee on prostitutes. Okay, so Vivek embodies Judeo-Christian, American so-called Judeo-Christian values much more than Trump, obviously. So let them decide. But if at all you see them criticizing Hinduism at any spot, absolutely demolish them. And if you see liberals bringing in, or even Christian conservatives who don't want Vivek to win just because they like maybe Ron DeSantis or Trump, even they are going to bring in the caste question. You have to talk about casteism on every YouTube comment section. Okay, he's our wrecking ball, protect him. Is Vivek a Soros supporter? Yeah, that's one hilarious criticism that has been coming up repeatedly. Okay, when he was about 24-25 years old, 15 years from today, he got a scholarship just like hundreds of other people from someone in the Soros family, 10 years before George Soros became an evil liberal program funder. Okay, 15 years back, no one knew that George Soros is a famous guy. No one knew George Soros. No one knew George Soros funds these people. George Soros, what his actions are today, he did not begin these actions 15 years back, nor did he fund Vivek. Vivek Ramaswamy won some Soros scholarship, which came from a completely different person in the Soros family. It's a big family, just like Rothschild, etc. And everyone won that scholarship. What was he supposed to do? Reject that scholarship when he was 25 years old? A Rhodes scholarship. Rhodes scholarship is named after a guy called something Rhodes, who was a big time racist in Africa. Yale University is founded by the funds of a person called something Yale, who gained all his money by stealing people's money in the Chennai presidency. Okay, in the Madras presidency. So how far are you going to take this argument? So absolutely, Vivek Ramaswamy has absolutely no remote connection with Soros. And the other criticism Vivek is facing is that his connections with World Economic Forum, which he even mentions in the book itself. Now people are finding this out and thinking like it's some big conspiracy that I uncovered. No, he has mentioned it in his book only, that World Economic Forum keeps mentioning him as a young global leader because he's obviously a person of color, and he has repeatedly called them to say that no, I don't want to associate with you guys because I don't stand for your values, I don't agree with you guys. And they keep saying that no, why are you rejecting? Let's have the name anyway, you'll get some benefits, you'll get to present your companies there, etc. So now he's finally suing them. Wait, Sanjeev Sanyal is also a Rhodes Scholar or something. Yeah, Sanjeev Sanyal is a Rhodes Scholar. Okay, so subjugation of Kalia. Once this subchapter ends, again we'll discuss a bit of international politics. Vyasa said, now I'm quoting Vyasa, okay? Vyasa said, on one occasion, Krishna went to Vrindavana without Rama, meaning Balarama. He roamed around, surrounded by the Gopas. With garlands made out of wild flowers, he was resplendent. He went to the Kalindi, full of turbulent waves. Kalindi is another name for Yamuna. As the foam struck the banks, she seemed to be smiling in every direction. But within the river, he saw an extremely terrible pool that belonged to Kalia Naga. It was extremely horrible and was polluted by fire and poison. As the poisonous fire spread, it scorched the large trees along the banks. The wind hurled the spray up, and if a bird happened to touch this, it was burnt. It was extremely fierce in this way. It was like a second mouth of death, death with capital D. The illustrious Madhusudana saw this and thought, the evil-souled Kalia resides here and poison in his weapon. Earlier, when the wicked one had been defeated by me, he had vanished into the ocean. He is the one who has polluted the entire Yamuna as she heads towards the ocean. When they are thirsty, men cannot drink this water, nor can our wealth of cattle. Therefore, it is my task to chastise the king of the Nagas. In this place, the residents of Vraja are always terrified. They should be able to move around happily. It is for this reason that I have incarnated myself in the world of men. It is my task to punish evil-souled ones who resort to contrary paths. I will climb onto the branches of that Kadamba tree, which is not very far away. From there, I will leap into the pool which belongs to the one who destroys life. Having thought in this way, he firmly girded his loins. With great force, he leaped into the pool that belonged to the king of the serpents. When he descended there, the waters of that great lake were agitated and had drenched even the large trees that were some distance away. The water was hot and polluted from the serpent's poisonous flames, and thus hurled up, immediately made the trees blaze. Those flames enveloped the directions, using his arms. Krishna slapped on the waters of the serpent's lake. Hearing that sound, the king of the Nagas arrived. Because of this rage, his eyes turned coppery red. His hoods were full of the blazing poison. He was surrounded by many other serpents that were full of great poison. There were hundreds of wives of the Nagas, adorned with beautiful necklaces. As those lovely ones moved, their earrings trembled because of the movements. Krishna entered that circle of serpents, and they bound him in their coils. Their mouths were foul with poisonous flames, and they bit Krishna. The Gopas saw him fall down there, suffering from the coils of the serpents. Suffering in their grief and shrieking and lamenting, they rushed to Vraja. The Gopas said, in his delusion, Krishna has got submerged in Kalia's lake. The king of the serpents will devour him. Without any delay, go there. Hearing this, it was as if the Gopas were struck by a bolt of lightning. With the Gopis and Yashoda leading the way, they rushed to the lake. Alas, what is this? Alas! The people and the Gopis were distracted. They were just as confused as Yashoda was, and as they hurried, their steps faltered. Eager to see Krishna, Nanda Gopa and the other Gopas and Rama, extraordinary in his valor, quickly rushed to the Yamuna. They saw him under the subjugation of the king of the serpents. Since he was circled in the serpent's coils, Krishna's efforts were futile. O supreme among sages, looking at his son's face, Nanda Gopa was extremely motionless. The immensely fortunate Yashoda was also exactly in that state. Seeing this, the other gopis were afflicted by grief and wept. Because of their love for Keshava and because their minds were afflicted by fear, they said, "Along with Yashoda, all of us will enter the giant lake of the king of the Nagas. It is not appropriate for us to return to Vraja. What is the day without the sun? What is the night without the moon? What are cows without milk? What is Vraja without Krishna? Without Krishna, we will not go to Gokula." Hearing the words of the gopis, Rohini's immensely strong son looked at the miserable gopas with unruffled eyes. He saw that Nanda's glance was fixed on his son and that he was suffering greatly. Without being aware of Krishna's greatness, Yashoda was senseless. Balarama said, "O Lord of the gods, why are you behaving excessively like a human? Do you not know your own self? You are the knave of the universe. You are the refuge of even the gods. You are the creator, preserver and destroyer of the three worlds. The three are in you. O Krishna, both of us have assumed avatars here and the gopas are our kin. The gopis are suffering. Why are you indifferent towards your relatives? You have exhibited human nature. You have exhibited childish fickleness. O Krishna, now chastise this evil-souled one who uses poison as a weapon." When he was reminded in this way, there was a gentle smile on Krishna's lips. He slapped his arms and freed his body from the serpent's coils. Using both his hands, he made the serpent's middle hood bend down. When the head was lowered down, the valiant one climbed up and danced on the hood. The blows from Krishna's feet wounded the hood. Whenever he tried to raise his hand, it was forced to bend down. As a result of Krishna's kicks, the serpent was confused and completely lost his senses. As a result of those fierce blows, he vomited a lot of blood. The head and the neck were lowered and blood flowed from the mouth. Seeing this, his wives sought refuge with Madhusudana. The Naga's wives said, "O Lord of the lords of the gods, you have been known. You are the excellent and supreme Lord. You are the supreme light. You are unthinkable and Parameshwara is only one of your options, or is only one of your portions. The gods are incapable of praising you. You are the Lord who has not been born from anyone else. How can women describe your own nature? The entire earth, sky, water, fire and wind are part of the cosmic egg, and that is only a small portion of you. Cosmic egg is Brahmand, obviously. How can we praise you? O Lord of the universe, he is suffering. Please show him your favors. The Naga will give up his life. Please grant us our husband's life." The Naga's body was exhausted and his eyes were miserable. When they said this, he spoke in faltering words. "O God of the gods, show me your favors, O protector. You naturally possess the 8 kinds of prosperity, which are compassion, forgiveness, cleanliness, lack of jealousy, altruism, lack of greed, purity, and self-control. You naturally possess the 8 kinds of prosperity and are supreme." So this is a Naga begging Krishna, obviously. "Since you have no one who can surpass you, how can I possibly praise you? You are supreme. You are greater than the greatest. Your Atman is supreme. Since you are greater than the greatest, how can I possibly even praise you? O Lord, you have created me in a certain kind of form. Everything that I have done is in conformity with my own nature and in accordance with your instruction. O God of the gods, had I acted contrary to that, it would have been proper for the rod of chastisement to be imposed on me. O Master of the universe, nevertheless, since you have brought the rod of chastisement down on me, this is an excellent boon. In truth, this is not punishment for me, but a boon. O Achyuta, I have been robbed of my valor. I have been deprived of my poison. I have been chastised. Grant me my life. Command me about what I should do." The illustrious one replied, "Now Krishna, O serpent, you should never reside here in the waters of the Yamuna. With your sons and companions, go to the waters of the ocean. O serpent, when he sees the mark of my feet on your head, Garuda, the enemy of the Nagas, will not strike you." Having said this, the illustrious Hari released the king of the serpents, bowing down before Krishna. He left for the store of waters. While all the creatures looked on, along with his servants, offspring, relatives, and all his wives, he left his own lake. When the serpent had departed, the Gopas embraced Govinda, as if he had returned from the world of the dead. They sprinkled his head with tears that flowed from their eyes. The minds of others were astounded at Krishna's unblemished deeds. Happy to see that the waters of the river were now pure, the Gopas praised him. The Gopis sang about his conduct and beautiful deeds. Praised by the cowherds, Krishna reached Vraja. Now the next subchapter is called Death of Dhenuka and Pralamba. Okay, also again explain to me the pronunciation, guys, because I haven't heard these names before. Is it Pralamba or Pralamba or Pralam? No, I don't think that will be. Pralamba or Pralamba, right? Pralamba might mean that very long, I guess. Okay, I'll just check the comments once. Rishi, it is called Nag Ved only as far as I... Okay, what's happening? Only as far as I have seen. Wait, my towel is falling off. This. Maximus is saying, because of the kicks of Krishna's life, the serpent Kundalini was misaligned, yet the same Krishna can bring back joy and bliss to the serpent. Yes. Pralambasur ebong Dhenuka. Okay, so Pralamba, right. Is Mahabharata and Ramayana myth or real, or are they exaggerated description of real incidents? What's your take on it, Dada? Yes, of course, real incidents, uska philosophization and glorification. Just like how we tell stories. See, RRR जो movie है, or even basically all our action movies, why aren't they ever realistic? Because that is not how we tell stories, guys. That is our inherent civilizational memory of how to tell stories. Make them interesting, make them epic, make them incredible, make them fascinatingly unbelievable. That is how anime works, right? That is how RRR works. RRR basically is a live action anime movie. And that is how Mahabharata and Ramayana is, of course. The great some war definitely happened, and since there was someone called the Bharata tribes, and they had 10 kings, battle of 10 kings, right? And mysteriously one character in Mahabharata is called Dasharatha, maybe one who wields 10 chariots or something. So there are very obvious civilizational connections between these concepts. So I would say obvious, 100% sure that these were real incidents, real people whose greatness was so high and so significant and so much impactful that we have tales of them even today. एकदम 1:1 true है. Barbaric was definitely an AI powered cyborg. Mahabharata, yeah, so I don't think the technologies were there. Okay, let me check some other comments. So I already saw some YouTubers bringing in the caste of Vivek to downplay his hard work. Yes. Look, guys, I'm saying this to the non-Brahmins here. I don't think anyone is a non-Brahmin. How many of you all are non-Brahmins? I think most of my audience base is somehow Brahmin, because most of them are not atheists, I guess. In the rest of India, at least in West Bengal, Brahmins are mostly communists. But anyway, you all will have to explain why is it always that Brahmins keep getting those positions of power in USA, okay? There is a deep historical reason for that. Brahmins are the group who have been, not just historically, even up till 1 or 2 generations before, known for their academic rigor. Of course, not all Brahmins, not in the last 100, 200 years. A lot of them were basically evil people. A lot of them were just going around practicing untouchability, kicking Shudras, spitting on Shudras, etc. But in general, Brahmin families have a heritage of knowing countless scriptures, Upanishads, Veds, everything, Puranas. So, isn't it obvious that when they get to, or when they have to, or when they end up studying something else, that academic rigor of studying Veds and Upanishads and Puranas translates immediately to all other subjects they study. That is very obvious. And also, they are, see, the Vivek Ramaswamy guy beating affirmative action to get into Harvard is also the same as what Brahmins have to do even in India, because there is reservation even in India. So these guys have to prepare extra hard along with their civilizational memory, gene, जो भी कहे, family values, habits, okay, it's all focused on academic rigor. So don't be ashamed or shy of speaking about academic rigor in Brahmin families. And that's going to change now, because there is much more prosperity and everyone's not just going on but thinking about subsistence, and everyone is going to encourage their kids into education and academic rigor now that we are seeing some prosperity once again. So what I'm saying about Brahmins is not going to be true about is going to be true about all Indian castes in general in the next 100 years. But as for now, since up until 1 or 2 generations back, these people had people in their families who had mugged up entire Vedas and Puranas and Upanishads and Gita and Mahabharata, Ramayana. Their kids are obviously going to be extremely good at education and academic rigor. So defend Vivek on that front as well. Don't bow down from the caste debate, and do take part in that caste debate. Don't let them hijack this space, and don't let them criticize Vivek for this particular issue. Vivek is technically not a Brahmin too in front of a traditionalist. He's a good Hindu. Brahmins have academic rigor a bit genetically. Genetically perhaps, but even family values सामने तो देखते हैं. That should not be discounted. Saptarshi Adhikari, how is RSS progressing in Kerala? I am a Banya, and Banyas are generally seen as affluent people. Yes. Okay. Brahmins have, okay. Maximus is saying similar question. How come even with an availability of all info on internet, Brahmins are the majority of people reading our ancient books and texts? Yeah. And that is why what Jesai Deepak said last day, which people were criticizing, some of it is a bit iffy. That it's a bit grey that, okay, if what the things he's recommending for, and if these ideas become mainstream, isn't casteism or untouchability going to come back again? But all I can say is that you can't wait for the side effects. Just because you fear the side effects of an idea doesn't mean you have to reject the entire idea right now. You will never be able to implement any idea at any point of time, any good idea, just because you are afraid of the side effect. The problem with the leftists in India, or the anti-Hindus in India or the rest of the world, is that they criticize Hinduism or the Varna Vyavastha or anything about Hinduism as if that's the only thing that has side effects. You are not supposed to be a proud Hindu क्योंकि untouchability हो जाएगा, मगर communism का side effect नहीं है, enlightenment era atheism का side effect नहीं है, mental health wealth कुछ problem नहीं है, mental health awareness नाम का चीज़ का भी side effect नहीं है, body positivity का side effect नहीं है, कांग्रेस को वोट देने का side effect नहीं है, तृणमूल को वोट देने का साइड इफेक्ट नहीं है. सारे साइड इफेक्ट सिर्फ है प्राउड हिंदू होने में, सारे साइड इफेक्ट है सिर्फ तिलक लगाने में. ओके, सो what Jesai Deepak said is that all information is available on internet. Brahmins don't have the physical power to go and actively stop a Shudra or a lower caste person from reading Rig Veda. I'm going to start a Rig Veda live stream very soon. Who's going to stop me? So what is this idea today in 2023 that no, Brahmins don't want other people to read Vedas? It may have been true at some point, or it may have been noticing or codifying what was already happening, because as you know, not everyone is allowed in a PhD classroom, and Vedas are a PhD level concept in Sanatan Dharma. So why would anyone be allowed? Why would anyone pursue these things? And why would anyone and everyone qualify to pursue these things? Only way you can argue that no, Vedas should have been allowed for everyone to study is if you are saying that it's just a random thing. Everyone should just sit in a PhD classroom and study it. That's not how society works. That's not how society has ever existed. And I saw one interesting argument from a Christian conservative on Tim Pool's podcast where Vivek came yesterday. A woman was saying that since Hinduism has so many gods, therefore it builds division. It encourages division and builds a low trust society. Now, it could be argued that is the case in some way, and it could be argued that it is not the case in some contexts. But what I replied to that woman is that, well, low trust society, bro. If a low trust society could help this pre-Abrahamic civilization or religion in the Western sense to survive Abrahamic invasions and becomes the only one to do so, and survives for about 6,000 years and is going strong and has a majority rule, at least even in name, in India, in the largest democracy in the world, and is continuously producing great minds in the country and abroad and even in your own country, maybe that low trust society is a great thing. Okay, maybe we don't trust you enough to convert me and give me all bags of rices. Okay, I'll take that low trust society any day of the week. Ninari Singh, I think pride in one's own caste is okay, but looking down on others without reason is bad. That was the problem in our society. Yes, that is one problem. Another problem is that codifying should not have happened in any way. I'm saying that as a libertarian, although I would argue that Hinduism has plenty of individualism and libertarian aspects to it. So I don't want to go around saying I'm a Hindu libertarian, because someone would quote some scriptures and say that kahan pe libertarianism hai Hinduism mein. But I'll just say that I can be Hindu and libertarian at the same time. But codification of what you are seeing in the society is always going to lead to problems. And I don't think that it's not like the society before Varna Vyavastha was created or invented. It's not like the society was completely full of equality. Everyone was marrying everyone or something. Okay. And one fine morning, randomly some rishis come up and say that, hey guys, chill. You all were practicing equality, but how about we try this thing called inequality and Varna Vyavastha and let's see how that benefits. And everyone says, okay, no equality. Great, we'll just try that. There's no fucking way that happened, okay? They were definitely codifying into law or scripture or as rules that, see, these things happen anyway. Let's just say that, please keep on doing this. Which is what happens even today, which I've made that point repeatedly, that Varna Vyavastha in some form is inevitable. Virat Kohli will marry Anushka Sharma. Virat Kohli will not marry my sister or your sister, no matter how hot or intelligent or a great wife she is, okay? Everyone is marrying in their caste, so to speak, even today. Most scholars, most PhDs marry other PhDs. Most musicians marry other artists. Most entrepreneurs, big time millionaires and billionaires, marry women from other millionaire and billionaire families. तो endogamy कहाँ बंद हुआ? अरे नहीं, I was asking whether you read Secret of the Nagas or something. Okay. Vedas were not written to. Al-Biruni refers to this. Yes. Untouchability is bad. Also, we should not refrain from intercaste marriage. Yeah, आज के दिन में जो वो caste equations है वो तो है ही नहीं. But it's not going to happen anyway, because आज के जो caste के equations है वहाँ पे casteism and endogamy वही चल रहा है. Teachers marry, everyone marries in their class, okay? So there was another thing. Yeah, pride in one's own caste is a bit weird, because again, in my opinion, at best, Hinduism history is a fun anecdote to have in your kitty. But being a proud Brahmin is pretty weird, because being a proud Brahmin has some significant and important connotations that if you don't follow, I have absolutely zero respect for you, and in fact I have some disgust for you. If you don't know Sanskrit, if you don't read scriptures, if you don't know Vedas, or if you're not planning to read Vedas anytime soon, if you don't do yajnas every day, you have absolutely no right to call yourself a Brahmin in the first case, but also no right to be proud of your Brahmin caste, because you are not living up to the values of a Brahmin in any way. I am a kind of Vaishya. I'm not a proud Vaishya or anything, but incidentally, I am doing what a Vaishya does. I'm a self-employed person making music. I'm somewhere between Vaishya and Shudra. I think the main point is birth-based Varna system, arguments for and against, right? And birth-based also is inevitable. Kyuki, again, why wouldn't someone want to inculcate their kids in their profession in which they have some generational wisdom to share? I can practice my ass off. Okay, I can play the guitar or practice music arrangement for 13 hours. I will probably definitely 99% sure that I won't be A.R. Rahman, because A.R. Rahman's father himself was a reputed music arranger. He was sitting in with recordings in studios when he was 9 years old, playing synthesizers in his father's arrangements. I did not even hear the word arrangement when I was in class 7 or 8. I did not touch the keyboard when I was already working in a job. So family inculcation of their professions is also always going to happen. These things are inevitable. You can't pass on, you can't prevent these things. Best we can do is not practice untouchability and being unnecessarily rude to people from other professions, which would be the same as being rude to people from other varnas, because everyone has their duty, and you can't dispute that that was the original intention, that everyone do your duties. Just you do your work, and the society works best that way. And that's not something we do entirely today. Okay, we look to our Bollywood stars and actors and actresses and celebrities for wisdom, motivation, life guidance, and even fitness and diet. That's the stupidest of all. I can't just take that, because every time you look at a actor or actress, they are going through hours of Photoshop, makeup, two days prior dehydration so that their muscles pop up, and beautiful lighting, and great hair, everything. Okay, there's about 50 people working on the appearance of an actor or actress every time you see them, whether in a video or in the movies or in a photo shoot. But naive people who have absolutely no sense of fitness look to these guys for fitness advice. Christian Bale, in one movie, he in The Machinist, he seems like a guy starving for 50 days, and then in Batman Begins he becomes a buff bodybuilder kind of a guy, very bulky at least. Do you think that's done with healthy ways? Do you think that's done without TRT or steroids? People do think that. I 100% will say that definitely requires hard work, but not with normal diet. It definitely takes chemicals along with hard work. If you're not going to take the chemicals, don't look to actors and actresses for the fitness advice. This Deepika Padukone says the weirdest crap. She is a former badminton player. Her father is a badminton player, casteism again. But so she has knowledge of fitness from a very young age. She's probably basically an ectomorph body type wise. But she goes around saying that do jaw exercise in order to have a jaw like her. It's not that you have to work out and have a completely holistic outlook towards diet and fitness to have a jaw like her. Do specific jaw workouts and then you'll have a jaw like Deepika Padukone. That's the stupidest crap I have ever heard in my life. But most things you hear from an actor or actress's life are PR firm approved, and therefore they are mostly crap. If they are happy, sad, being aggressive, they seem passionate about a cause, each and everything about that is fake and PR approved. So these are the mistakes we make today. We are looking for Brahminical advice from a person who's meant to be a Vaishya or Shudra in today's context. We should not do those things. Maximus, Rishi, if you don't understand what I said, please ask instead of providing a conclusion. Okay, let's see what's going on. Brahmin anyway is supposed to not have pride by virtue. Yes, I meant other middle caste having pride like tribal mentality. Yeah, middle class, how can they even have pride? Yeah, Brahmins are definitely not supposed to be proud of their Brahminism. Dada is teaching us on YouTube, thus he's a Brahmin too. No, not yet. Hey Dada, I have enough pride in my SC caste and I have never been discriminated due to my caste. I am proud to be Namashudro. I see. How are you Namashudro? Isn't Adhikari means someone who has the right to perform rituals? I thought Adhikari is definitely a Brahmin caste. How the hell? This is brand new information to me. This is fascinating. This is pretty weird. Government places Indic worldview directors atop top institutes in my experience, but these guys simply lack talent leading these institutions to degrade. Is BJP's method of tackling liberals in academia too unplanned and hurried? I don't think they have a plan in the first place. Hurried bhi kahan hai? BJP's method of tackling liberal, I don't think they have any plans of tackling liberal academia. I don't think people in the government know the problems that are going on. These are, who has really spoken of about the problems, nitty-gritty problems of academia? Sanjeev Sanyal, Vikram Sampath, J. Deepak. Only in the last 4 or 5 years, they have started talking about it on YouTube, writing books. By the time it reaches the ears of the government, it's going to take a long time. It's not going to happen before Yogi comes to power and this phase of prosperity has gone on. And there's Rajiv Malhotra, of course. इनके बातें इनके कान तक पहुंचने में बहुत time लगेगा. I meant middle class castes like Jats, Gujars, they have so much pride, lol. Yeah, but that's a linguistic pride, right? I mean, caste. If I say in the four caste sense, what castes are those? Jats and Gujars. They are more jatis instead of castes, isn't it? I was thinking in terms of Brahmins, Vaishyas, Kshatriyas, etc. Maximus, nice opinion, but this is not suitable to be discussed here. Let's see what you all were discussing. Let's see what's the controversy. Let me just check this. Intercaste marriage in the case of specific Brahmin families were shunned as there was genealogy in play. Two Shaptarshis here, right? I see. Maximus, nice opinion. Okay. Due to British policy of martial castes. Yeah, right. So unfortunate. Okay. Untouchability can be rid of by using the same tactics used by Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Refer Mahanirvana Tantra 3 Ullash. 3 cheers will please everyone read this. I see. Oh, sorry, I didn't see your question. RSS has most number of shakhas, but activities in the ground level are pathetic. Okay. Let's start Brahma Purana again. The Adhikari is both a Brahmin caste as well as a scheduled caste. How did you all become a scheduled caste? If someone's surname is Adhikari, then at some point in your ancestry, you all were definitely Purohits, right? Isn't it? I'm 100% sure of that. So how did you all get you guys get credited as a scheduled caste? I don't get it. Just like Shahas, I'm a general caste because my family came from Bangladesh. But Shahas here, who were actually more prosperous and did not have to go through partition, are scheduled castes. How does that work? Shahas are mainly businessmen who sell, I think, alcohol or jewelry in India, in the undivided India, in this part of India. But people who came from Bangladesh, those Shahas are actually dirt poor, and they are not the scheduled caste ones. Weird stuff. Mauryas were Kshatriyas and also scheduled castes. It is a question of who came to power and when. Yeah, that is one thing. But I don't get how Adhikari became scheduled caste. My father or mother are both and mother are both SC. How? But Adhikari is supposed to be a lineage of people who did yagyas. Since Brahmins did not know about genetics, but they have referred to about auras. But this could be discussed some other time. Okay. Maud Bikrita. Okay, guys. Let's discuss Brahma Purana again. Death of Dhenuka and Pralamba. Vyasa said, together meaning Balarama, together Bala and Keshava started tending to the cows again. Roaming around in the forest, they reached a beautiful grove of palm trees. In that grove of palm trees, there was a Danava named Dhenuka, in the form of a donkey. It always fed on the flesh of humans and cattle. That beautiful grove of palm trees was full of fruit. On seeing this, the Gopas wished to gather some fruit and spoke these words. The Gopas said, O Rama, O Krishna, this bit of land is always protected by Dhenuka. That is the reason we have always avoided the palm fruit. Behold, the fragrance causes delight. If it so pleases you, we wish to bring down some fruit. Hearing the words of the Gopa boys, Samkarshana and Krishna brought some palm fruit down on the ground. The king of the Asuras heard the sound of the palm fruit falling down. Diti's son, the evil-souled donkey, arrived full rage. The powerful one forcibly struck him in the chest with its hind legs. But he, Krishna, seized it by those legs and whirled it around in the sky. When it had lost its life, he powerfully flung it on the top of a large tree. As it fell on the top of the palm tree, the donkey brought down many fruits on the ground, like a strong wind acting against clouds. It had other relatives who were Daityas in the form of donkeys. When they arrived, Krishna and Balabhadra playfully flung them on the tops of palm trees. O sages, in a short while, the earth was ornamented with ripe palm fruit. It looked even more resplendent because of the bodies of the Daityas, in the form of donkeys. O Brahmanas, thereafter, cattle no longer faced any obstructions in that grove of palm trees. They happily grazed on the fresh grass in a spot where they had been unable to graze earlier. The Daitya and his younger brothers in the form of donkeys were brought down, and all the Gopa boys and Gopis found that the grove of palm trees was beautiful. Vasudeva's two sons were filled with joy. Having killed Dhenuka Daitya, they went to the forest of Bhandira. Bhandira is the Indian fig tree. They sought out the trees and played and sang. Those two great-souled ones were radiant, like young bulls with budding horns. What a great analogy, huh? Two kids being compared with young bulls with budding horns. They herded the cows. When these ventured too far, they called them back by their names. They carried ropes for tethering on their shoulders. They were adorned with garlands of wildflowers. They were attired in garments that had the complexion of gold and collyrium. They were like the weapon of the great Indra. They resembled a rainbow, so Indradhanush. They were like the weapon of great Indra, meaning they were like the Indradhanush. They were like white and dark clouds. Balarama was fair and Krishna was dark, so they were like white and dark clouds. Like ordinary people, they wandered around and played. The protectors of all the worlds, the protectors of creatures, had come to earth. Therefore, they followed the Dharma of humans and respected human qualities. They wandered around and played in the forest in accordance with the attributes of that species. Those two extremely strong ones swung from swings, wrestled, exercised, and flung huge stones there. There was an asura known by the name of Pralamba. While they were amusing themselves, he arrived there wishing to seize them. He disguised himself in the garb of a gopa. Without any hesitation, he entered amidst those humans. Pralamba, supreme among Danavas, assumed a human form. He thought he would quickly find a weakness in them. His wish was to kill Krishna and Rohini's son. There is a children's game known as Harina Kridana, literally playing like deer. This is like leapfrog, where one person jumps over another person's back. The defeated child has to carry the victorious child. In this game, all of them played in pairs, leaping up and jumping down. Harina Kridana. Govinda played with Shridama and Pralamba with Bala. A cowherd played with another cowherd and jumped over them. Krishna defeated Shridama and Rohini's son defeated Pralamba. Thus, those on Krishna's side were victorious and defeated the other side. They carried each other. Those defeated carried the victorious ones on their shoulders up to the Bhandira tree and returned. What a great game. Teaches you capitalism from a very young age. The Danava swiftly... See, this is another reason. Kids play so less amount of sports. That's why they don't know how to handle loss and defeat. The Danava swiftly bore Samkarshana on his shoulders. But having reached, he did not return. It was as if a cloud was carrying the moon away. However, the supreme Danava found it impossible to bear the load of Rohini's son. Therefore, he increased in size and assumed a gigantic form. Like a cloud during the rainy season, Samkarshana saw his form, which was like that of a scorched mountain. Unblemished garlands and ornaments hung around his neck, and there was a diadem on his head. This is Pralamba's description. He was fierce, and his eyes were like the wheels of a cart. As he moved his feet, the earth trembled. Being borne away in this way, he addressed Krishna in these words. Balarama said, "O Krishna, look at this Daitya who assumed the disguise of a cowherd. O Krishna, his fierce form is like a mountain and I am being abducted by him. O slayer of Madhu, what would I do now? Please tell me. This evil-souled one is proceeding at a fast pace." With a smile on his lips, Govinda spoke to Rama. He knew about the greatness of Rohini's son and about the extent of his strength and valor. Krishna replied, "Why are you resorting to a human sentiment that has become manifest in you? You are the Atman of everything. You are more mysterious than everything mysterious. Your Atman is mysterious. O Lord of the entire universe, O elder brother, O cause behind all causes. Remember, when the entire universe is reduced to a single ocean of water, the Atman alone exists. You and I are that. We are the Atman of the universe. We are its cause. For the universe, for the welfare of the universe, we are established as separate entities. Remember your immeasurable Atman. Resort to your Atman and slay the Danava. However, do what is good for our relatives. using human attributes alone. O Brahmanas, reminded by the extremely great-souled Krishna in this way, Bala laughed and used his strength to make Pralamba suffer. His eyes red with rage, he struck him on the head with his fist. Because of these blows, his eyes popped out of their sockets. His brains came out, and he vomited blood from his mouth. The noble Daitya died and fell down on the ground. On seeing that Pralamba had been killed by Bala, whose deeds are extraordinary, the Gopas were delighted. They applauded him in words of praise. When the Daitya Pralamba was brought down, Rama was praised by the Gopas, and along with Krishna, he returned to Gokula. Now here the subchapter ends, but Hinduism teaches non-violence, guys. His brains came out, he vomited blood from his mouth, his eyes popped out of their sockets. Hinduism teaches non-violence. I used to love playing cricket, yes. Dada, can you make a video on the American polity, the power structure, president system, etc.? I don't think so. I mean, I won't be able to make a video. It will take too much editing, etc. And then extra time writing the essay sort of thing. But live stream we can always discuss. X is below the mistake. Okay. Correction discussed. Okay. Nina, I see. I thought we were talking about Jati, not Varna, so I mentioned that. Okay. And where's Adhikari? Yeah, Saptarshi. So SC, you are the SC caste in terms of the English language. But what are you in the Indian context, in the Hindu concept? Are you Brahman, Vaishya, or Shudra, or Kshatriya? How does that work? Is this a graphic novel or what? Yeah, it's a very graphic and novel. Okay. I'm in middle class. Okay. Due to British policy, Saptarshi Adhikari. Okay. Okay. Next subchapter is called Worship of Govardhana. Ahimsa is non-violence, great invention of Gandhi. Yeah. Each and every of our gods have weapons in their hands, but we are not supposed to have guns because USA में mass shooting होता है. Okay, that's the logic. Or maybe they'll say that they are gods, that's why they can have guns. You are a stupid fuck, you can't have gods. You can't have guns. That's why they glorify every commie who pretends to be spiritual, not religious. Those people always glorify Buddha so much because उनके हाथ में कोई शस्त्र नहीं है. There's a great line in the in some Vedic web series that the Rajya Sabha TV is doing. Okay, I forgot the name. I just saw one episode. Even in that, there was such a great line. Seene pe shastra, kamar pe shastra. What a great anti-casteism thing to say, right? That's the warrior poet concept, that have your knowledge, have your wisdom, read scripture, but also be physically fit and be ready to defend yourself at all times. कानी उंगली पर गोवर्धना पर्वत को उठा लिया था. I see. What are your plans to grow the channel in terms of promotion, polish, etc.? Promotion, I have no plans. Polish, I have plans that when I have enough significant earnings from YouTube, I will take the StreamYard subscription, which is about 38,000 rupees per year. And there is about 20 hours of free 720 pixel streaming that StreamYard allows, जो कि मेरा ख़त्म हो गया इस महीने का. 26 जुलाई के बाद मैं फिर से 20 hours StreamYard में stream करूँगा. Because see, I don't want to this is not my main profession, right? And I don't want to make this my main profession because after all I like politics and only as a hobby. If I quit music completely, then I would be able to run my YouTube channel fully successfully. But I think that's first of all unfair to all the support that my parents gave me for learning music, then all the hard work I put in since I started playing guitar when I was in class 9, that was back in 2007. 2007 से गिटार सीखना शुरू किया. I started learning sound engineering in 2013. I started doing music arrangement in 2016. So all these years of work that I have put in, and now my career is still only growing and still only starting out. I can't quit all that just because YouTube seems to be lucrative and kind of in a way easier to pursue than the music industry. But that will first of all go against my my duties, my dharma, so to speak, and all the hard work I have put in, but also I will basically go mad. I won't be able to survive without music. Everyone says no, that I can't, music is my life, I can't survive without music. All this while I thought that was just a cool line to say. Now that I pursue politics to a significant degree in my life other than music, now I realize how much that is true actually. If I just keep thinking that अरे हिंदुओं के साथ ये हो रहा है, अरे यूएसए यहाँ ये कर दिया, अरे इंडिया में ये खराब हो रहा है, if I keep thinking about that 24/7, I'm done. I'll lose my mind. So in conclusion, whatever my YouTube channel is growing at that pace, I'm absolutely fine with that, because I have about, this is my 600th video today, and I have not said please like, share and subscribe even once. I think I said that once when I was trying to be cool, and I consciously don't do that because I'm frustrated, and I have given up on that when I used to be an independent musician, by sending my song links to all my friends and people in my news feed who come always to criticize my political views but never listen to my music, or who say that independent music is dying, Bengali independent music is dying, instrumental music is dying, Bollywood is taking over everything. But when I make instrumental music, when I make Bengali music, when I share them on my wall, when I send them, nobody used to listen. And I used to keep sending them links and please share and subscribe. And not like I send them to random strangers one fine morning and said that please like, share and subscribe. Not like that. I send these songs forever to people I knew, but they never listened. So I've given up on that, and I've realized that people are a big hypocrite on that. So people will inherently go towards what they find of value out of their own accord, not just because someone tells them. Obviously marketing plays a big role, but requests don't play a big role. So I'm fed up with requests. So यहाँ पे ये channel without any requests for please do that, please do that, please do this, उसके अलावा ही ये 5,000 subscriptions जो पहुंच गया है. So I'm pretty happy with that. And besides, I have a whole lot to learn as of yet, right? I can, I think, only confidently speak about two things in my life. One is American politics, and the other is music programming, arrangement, music in general, okay? The other things for which I started this channel, I am not remotely an expert on. So it's great that people don't know about me much. Let me keep on gathering my knowledge. Let all of you all join me. All of you all share your knowledge along with me, like you all do every day in my comment section. हम लोग सब एक साथ ही सीखेंगे, एक साथ grow करेंगे. मेरा channel भी एक साथ ही grow करेगा, so that by the time I have more significant virality or viral or like every video gets 1 lakh views or something, 50,000 views. When I reach that spot, there should not be any holes in my argument. There should not be any holes in my preparation or in the things I say. Like Sanjay Dixit or any Indic wing, like Rajiv Malhotra and all. When they make videos, or like what's that person's name? I forgot. One economist person who comes to Sanjay Dixit's podcast. People like these whom I respect deeply. When they open their mouth, either they will say things that are absolutely cannot be countered, or they will say things, even if they are countered, they will have countless things to back up their argument. I am not in that position today, so I'm just learning, and I'm happy to learn as my channel grows on. So I'm absolutely not going to do promotion without the sufficient knowledge base, and I don't want to become a podcaster because I have no interest in knowing what they have to say in every podcast, because after that point of time, if podcasts do become my model, then it becomes I have to call someone just because I'm a podcast channel. I don't want to do that at all. I do have some things I want to ask Kushal Meher, Abhijit and Mitra, but that's it. I'm not interested in anyone and everyone. I'm only interested in learning on my own. Vijay Sardana, yes, Vijay Sardana, what a genius. I wish you all the best. Nevertheless, your channel covers a great niche in the YouTube space. Thank you. But growth for impact, not money. Growth for impact भी तब होना चाहिए जब तुम्हारा knowledge base is fully solid. I don't have solid knowledge base as of yet. Okay. Chanakya promoted the warrior poet mindset. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Worship of Govardhana. Vyasa said, while Rama and Keshava amused themselves in Vraja, the monsoon season passed. Autumn arrived and lotuses bloomed. This was the time when nakshatras sparkled in the clear sky, and this season arrived in Vraja. Krishna saw that the residents of Vraja were making preparations for Indra's festival. He saw that the Gopas were eager and anxious to do this. Curious, the immensely intelligent one addressed the elders in these words. Krishna said, "Who is this Shakra? His name is bringing you this delight." When he asked with great affection, Nanda Gopa replied, Nanda said, "Shatakratu, the king of the gods, is the lord of the water and the clouds. Urged by him, the clouds shower down juices in the form of rain. We and other embodied beings nourish ourselves on the resultant grain. Since we sustain ourselves on that food, we satisfy the gods. Crops grow through these and nourish and nurture the cows, which yield milk and calves. When clouds shower down the rain, the land is not seen to be devoid of crops or men, nor are there people afflicted by hunger. Parjanya heats the ground through the rays of the sun and sucks up the water. For the creation of all the worlds, it is then showered down on the ground as rain. Therefore, when it is the rainy season, all the kings, we and all embodied beings on earth are delighted and worship the Lord of the gods." Damodara heard Nandagopa's words about the reason behind Shakra's worship. To enrage Indra of the gods, he spoke of these words. Krishna said, "We are not farmers, nor do we earn our living through trading. O Father, since we are those who roam around in the forest, the cows are our deities. There are 4 kinds of learning: Anvikshiki, Trayi, Varta, and Dandaniti. Anvikshiki is the science of inquiry. The meaning changed over time and varied according to the context. Trayi stands for the 3 Vedas. Varta is livelihood or Varta, I don't know, probably Varta. And Dandaniti is punishment and good policy, broadly governance and jurisprudence. Of these, hear about Varta from me. O immensely fortunate one. Specifically, for knowledge about Varta, there are 3 kinds of means of subsistence: agriculture, trading, and animal husbandry as the 3rd. Varta is livelihood and tilling the land is the means of subsistence for those who are farmers. Trading is the means of subsistence for those who are merchants. For us, cattle represent the supreme means of subsistence. These are the 3 methods of earning a living. Whatever be the mode that one is engaged with, that should constitute the greatest divinity. Whatever be the mode that one is engaged with, that should constitute the greatest divinity. That is what should be venerated and worshipped. Exactly what I was talking about. This is the means to ensure welfare. O Father, if a man obtains fruits from one source but worships another, then in this world and in the next world, he does not obtain what is good for him. We should worship what is known as our boundaries. Beyond the boundaries, there are the forests. Beyond the forests, there are the mountains, and those are our supreme objective. Therefore, we should perform a Giri Yagya and a Go Yagya. Giri Yagya is a sacrifice to a mountain, because Giri means mountain, and Go Yagya is obviously sacrifice to cows. Since our divinities are cattle and mountains, what do we have to do with the great Indra? Brahmanas utter mantras and perform sacrifices. Farmers use their plows to perform sacrifices. What a great line! Man, did you all understand grasp the depth of this? ब्राह्मण का काम है मंत्र करके यज्ञ करना, sacrifices करना. Farmer का यज्ञ वही है, plow using the plow to perform sacrifice. Tilling the land is his yajna. Since we depend on mountains and forests, we should perform sacrifices to mountains and cattle. And that is what I was saying, that our mountains need to be treated better. Let all capitalism does not our mountains, specifically our mountains, Himalayas, don't fall in the framework of capitalism. They should be kept out of it. Let all kinds of offerings be tendered to Mount Govardhana as worship. Let us follow the norms and kill and offer in worship sacrificial animals. Let milk and milk products be taken from the entire settlement of cowherds. There is no need to think about this. Let Brahmanas and others who wish to be fed. After the worship has been completed and oblations have been offered, let Brahmanas be fed. Let herds of cattle be taken there to the mountain. with autumn flowers decorating their heads. O Gopas, this is my view. If this appeals to you, act accordingly. If you act accordingly, the cattle, the mountain, and I will be pleased. O Brahmanas, hearing these words, Nanda and the other residents of Vraja applauded these words. Their faces beamed with joy. O child, what you have said is appropriate. Therefore, let all of us prepare for the Giri Yagya. Okay, a footnote is given, though not explicitly stated. This is presumably Nanda speaking. Okay. Thus, the residents of Vraja performed a sacrifice to the mountain. They offered curds, payasam, flesh, and other offerings to the mountain. They fed hundreds and thousands of brahmanas. The cows were worshipped and made to perform pradakshina around the mountain. The bulls bellowed like clouds full of rain. O brahmanas, Govinda embodied himself on the summit of the mountain and said, I am the mountain. He ate all the different kinds of food that the Gopas offered. Along with the Gopas in the form of Krishna, he climbed to the summit of the mountain. Having ascended, he worshipped his own second form. This statement makes it clear. In the form of Krishna, he remained with the Gopas. However, he created a second form that appeared on the summit of the mountain and accepted the offerings. It is this second form that vanished. When this ceremony of I am the mountain was over, this second form vanished. Having obtained their boons, the Gopas returned to their own settlement. Now, next subchapter is called Govinda's coronation. Okay, let's check some comments. They offered flesh too, yes. College Street Club. Payesh in Bengali, yes. Payasam. Friend, keep going. I never joined you as I am a Hindi speaking person. Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. Ninar followed Vedika Yagya. Right. No idea, bro. How many Bengalis are there in Keralam? True, let's make one right now. Why can't we viewers make a Telegram group and add Dada? We won't be responsible for any messages in it, but we can share files and links there. Yeah, but again, Instagram closed groups ka problem hai. My concern is that I think the Mamata Banerjee government will use this as an excuse to call it a conspiracy to bring down the government. Okay, you can call me unnecessarily paranoid, but she is capable of these things, and the Bengali political establishment is capable of these things. Even if CPIM comes to power, they will do the same thing. And one other thing, SG said, but for growth, not money. Yeah, for growth also, the amount of work from and the time from my day that I will have to put in, that won't be possible to make it look like a really great pro-looking YouTube channel, right? That even if it's for growth and not money, but growth and money go hand in hand in a capitalist system, but that growth is not going to come out of my life without sacrificing music to a large extent. That is the problem. Ninar, following Vedika. Okay, yeah. So now we start a subchapter called Govinda's coronation. Vyasa said, when his sacrifice was stopped, Shakra became extremely angry. He spoke to the category of clouds that are known by the name of Samvartaka. These are clouds that appear at the time of universal destruction. Indra said, O clouds, listen to my words. Without thinking about it, swiftly act in accordance with my commands. Nanda Gopa is extremely evil-minded, and the other Gopas have helped him. Depending on Krishna's strength, he has broken the agreement about my sacrifice. Act according to my instructions. Shower down rain and make the cows suffer. They are the supreme reason behind the Gopas being able to manage a means of sustenance. I will myself be astride the elephant that resembles the summit of a mountain. I will help you, and the winds will also be with you. Having instructed them in this way, Indra of the gods released the clouds. O Brahmanas, to destroy the cows, they showered down an extremely terrible downpour of wind and rain. O Brahmanas, as a result of the great downpour that encompassed everything, in an instant, the earth, the directions, and the sky appeared as one. Trembling because of the wind and the rain, the cows fell down. With their heads and faces pointed in abnormal directions, all of them lost their lives. O Supreme Brahmanas, other cows stood there, sheltering the calves under their bodies. Because of the shower of rain, other cows were separated from their calves. The faces of the calves were miserable. Because of the wind, their heads quivered. Suffering, they seemed to be uttering the sounds, "Save us, O Krishna, save us." In this way, Gokula, with all the cattle, Gopas and Gopis, suffered greatly. Hari looked at them and thought of a means of saving them. Since his sacrifice has been stopped, the great Indra has done this. Therefore I must now save the entire cowherd settlement. I will use my valor to uproot this mountain like a large umbrella. I will hold up the flat part of the mountain above the cowherd settlement. Having made up his mind about this, Krishna playfully used one of his hands to uproot Mount Govardhana. Uprooting the mountain and holding it up, Jagannatha told the Gopas, "To counter the rain, collectively enter the space under this. There is no wind here. Find an appropriate spot here and rest." This was one of my favorite scenes in the Doordarshan Krishna TV serial. "Enter here. There is no reason to be afraid. There is no need to be scared that the mountain will fall down." Thus addressed, along with their wealth of cattle, the Gopas entered, placing their vessels on their carts. So did the Gopis, who had suffered on account of the rain. Krishna held up the mountain, completely steady. Delighted and amazed, the residents of Vraja looked on. The Gopas and Gopis were happy and overjoyed, and their eyes dilated in wonder. Eyes dilated in wonder. What a great line. As Krishna held up the mountain, they praised his conduct. For 7 nights, the large clouds showered down on Nanda's Gokula. Wishing to destroy the Gopas, Indra had urged the clouds. Thus, the great mountain was held up and Gokula saved. The wealth of cattle was saved. The pledge made by Indra of the gods became unsuccessful. The clouds invited by Shakra were dispelled. Emerging happily, they re-established the settlement in its proper place. While all the residents of Vraja looked on with wonder on their faces, Krishna released Mount Govardhana and placed it back in its own place. Mount Govardhana was held up and Gokula was saved. After this, the chastiser of Paka wished to see Krishna. Astride his giant elephant, Airavata, the slayer of enemies, the lord of the gods, came to see Krishna on Mount Govardhana. The immensely valiant one had assumed the form of a Gopa and was herding the cows. The protector of the entire universe was surrounded by Gopa boys. O Brahmanas, though others couldn't see him, he saw Garuda. Using his wings, the leader of birds cast a shade over Hari's head. Shakra descended from the Indra among elephants, meaning Airavata, and approached Madhusudana. His eyes widened in wonder. He smiled and spoke. Indra said, "O Krishna, listen to the reason why I have come here to you. O Krishna, O mighty armed one, you should not think otherwise. You are the supreme Lord who holds everything up. You have incarnated yourself on earth so as to remove the earth's burden. Since my sacrifice was stopped, I desired to destroy Gokula. I instructed the giant clouds to implement this catastrophe. To save the cattle who were tormented, you uprooted the great mountain. O valiant one, I am satisfied with your extraordinary deed. O Krishna, I now think that the objective of the gods will be accomplished. You managed to hold up that excellent mountain on a single hand. O Krishna, the cows have urged me to approach you. You saved them. You are the cause behind all the causes. O Krishna, hence urged by the words of the cows, I will instate you as Upendra. As the Indra of the cows, you will become Govinda." He brought the bell that was on the elephant Airavata. He filled it with sacred water and performed the consecration. A footnote is given. The usual etymology of Govinda is someone who knows cows go or obtains delight from cows. Govinda. Consecration kaise kiya? By sprinkling water on the head. As soon as Krishna's consecration was done, milk flowed from the udders of the cows and immediately moistened the earth. Urged by the words of the cows, Indra of the gods consecrated Janardana. Happy, Shachi's consort again addressed Krishna in affectionate words. Indra said, I have done this because of the words of the cows. But listen to something else. O immensely fortunate one, I am telling you this because I want the earth's burden to be removed. O one who holds up the earth, my portion, a tiger among men, has been born on earth as Arjuna. You should always protect me. In removing the burden, that valiant one will be your friend. O Madhusudana, please protect him as you protect your own self. The illustrious one replied, so Krishna replied, I know that your portion, Partha, has been born in the lineage of Bharata. As long as I am on earth, I will protect him. O Shakra, O scorcher of enemies, O Indra of the gods. As long as I am on earth, Arjuna will be victorious in battles. There is a mighty armed Daitya named Kamsa. There are others, Arishta, Keshi, Kuvalayapida, Naraka and others. When they have been killed, there will be a great battle. O one with 1,000 eyes, know that the burden of the earth will be removed there. Go. You should not lament on account of your son. No enemy of Arjuna's will be able to stand in front of me. For Arjuna's sake, in the course of the Bharata battle, I will protect the others, Yudhishthira being the foremost, and return them unharmed to Kunti. Thus addressed, the king of the gods embraced Janardana. He mounted the Airavata elephant and left for heaven. With the cows and the cowherds, Krishna again returned to Vraja with his path purified by the glances of the gopis. What a line! Krishna again returned to Vraja with his path, his path purified by the glances of the gopis. Path purified by the glances of the gopis. Where did my pen go? Okay. Next subchapter is called Arishta's death. Okay, wow. Govinda is equal to Indra of the cows. Yeah, basically. Gov Indra. Yeah, Govindra. Usko short se Govinda ho gaya. Like Dharma is Dhamma. Yes, I've been there multiple times. Great. How is the view from the top? Almost near Trivandrum. Okay. Neighboring district Kollam. I see. In Hindi it's Kheer, yes. But Bengali is the more... Bengali version of it is the more Sanskrit proximity word. Interesting. Payasam in Bengali is Bengali food. It's sweet food here in Kerala. Yeah, it's a sweet food in Bengali as well. Kind of creamy, thick, rich. Now Krishna will lift the Govardhana with his little finger. Yes, only 6 viewers here, including Dada. Where is the TMC spy? Not here today. Yeah, he went away. Okay, Arishta's death. Okay, this subchapter we'll do next day. Okay, probably not tomorrow. Even if I do come online tomorrow, I will do a Bengali live stream again, Bangalir Itihash. But again, day after tomorrow, if I am able to come live on live stream, I will start Arishta's death. Okay. Hello friends. Harsh abhi online aa raha hai. We are going away offline now, guys. Actually, I'm a bit disappointed. It must be converted to a place of religious tourism. It must be connected with Ayodhya. I see. Abaya Jasus. Lol. Okay. Good night, guys. See you tomorrow, hopefully. Unless, again, I get absolutely drowned in some work. Okay. Good night, guys. Thanks for joining.